This is Paul Glumaz, and today is September 27th, and this is being brought to you by General Welfare Presents. Now, this week, everything went ape against Trump, and it's very bizarre. Nancy Pelosi didn't want to do this because she has some sense that the population doesn't really understand what the situation is, or at least they don't want. There's a strong support for Trump. There's 52%, whatever the percentage for Trump support. But the hammer came down from the Obama apparatus and from the intelligence community and from the British that you got to move now against Trump. The Democrats have nothing going for them, and they have to get rid of Trump. And the place where Trump crossed the line in all of this is Ukraine. The people behind the Ukrainian coup, which was run by the British and the Obama administration, those were the people behind the attempt to prevent Trump from being president. Those are the people that are behind the whole thing. All of the fake evidence, the Russia collusion, everything. And CrowdStrike, all of this goes to the core of the Ukrainian coup. Now, what Trump is trying to do is to get help from the Ukrainian authorities to work with him to get at the bottom of this, because the intelligence community and the FBI are deliberately blocking everything they possibly can. So this is why they're going ape, because this hits at the core of the war effort against trying to get a war going with Russia, the operations against Russia. This hits at the core of everything. The whole sanctions, everything on Russia, the whole situation is centered in Ukraine. And back during the time of the Maidan coup, which was an incredibly violent overthrow of the existing government, financed by the National Endowment for Democracy in the $5 billion range, if not more, and all of the private money coming in. They used hardcore Nazi militias to do this. And the population of Ukraine is fed up with this crap, which is why they voted for an actor who portrayed one of the population that sort of became the president on a TV show. They made him the president. And already the first prisoner exchange has occurred. And it's very obvious that the people of Ukraine want an end to being under the control of the Obama British Nazis, the hardcore Nazis of Victoria Nuland. They these hardcore. These are like gangs that go around killing people that don't agree with them. This is like the people of Ukraine have had it. And there's a massive cleanup beginning to occur in Ukraine after the elections. The party that Zelensky created, who's now the new president, won an overwhelming majority of seats in the Rada, the parliament. And they're starting to clean up. And part of the cleanup in going after all of this is all the networks that went after Trump. And the corruption is beyond belief. And they're like saying that what Trump did was an impeachable offense. Adam Schiff is rewording it to be totally different than what it is. These people are like lying to the population, like bald-faced. We are lying to you. You can tell if you read the transcript of the conversation between Zelensky and Trump. You can tell that we are lying, but we're lying, and we're going to keep lying. But you're lying. No, we're not. We're going to keep lying. And it's just massive. The entire media, they're like creating a crime that has not existed. It does not exist. There is no such crime. They're creating this crime. And on the one hand, they're freaked out because this could end the empire. This could end the British Empire. This could end the whole British Empire and the massive takeover of our media and intelligence community. This could end their 1984, control of the United States. This clockwork orange society that we live in, where that Obama represented. This could end it. And so they're like reacting, and Pelosi is, who spent 25 years on the Intelligence Committee, she's like being told, hey, girl, this is it. We go for it now. And she's going, so they're going for it now. Now, Cromwell had something to say about all of this, and I'm going to read you his comments to the Parliament. It is high time for me to put an end to your sitting in this place, which you have dishonored by your contempt of all virtue, and defiled by your practice of every vice. Ye are a factious crew, and enemies to all good government. Ye are a pack of mercenary wretches, and would like Esau sell your country for a mess of pottage, and like Judas betray your God for a few pieces of money. Is there a single virtue now remaining amongst you? Is there one vice you do not possess? Ye have no more religion than my horse. Gold is your God. Which of you have not bartered your conscience for bribes? Is there a man amongst you that has the least care for the good of the Commonwealth? Ye sordid prostitutes, have you not defiled this sacred place, and turned the Lord's temple into a den of thieves, by your immoral principles and wicked practices? You are grown intolerably odious to the whole nation. You were deputed here by the people to get grievances redressed, and yourselves gone. So take away that shining bauble there, and lock up the doors. In the name of God, go. Cromwell, I mean, when he was telling it like it is at that time about the people that were in the Parliament. I think we could say the same thing about a lot of the people that are in the Congress today. And so this is the real situation. There is massive deception and massive deceit. The whole Democratic presidential campaign is one massive deception. The entire green thing is one massive deception. It's all lies. The whole carbon thing is a total fraud. And they have this, that's why they have to get the children out there. Because the blue collar and the actual people that understand this thing know that the world isn't coming to an end in 18 months, and that the seas aren't going to rise, and the climate emergency is a scam. So they have to create this massive mobilization of children who have no way of knowing anything. They have no way of knowing whether you're right or wrong. And whenever you challenge, saying, well, what about cloud formation created by cosmic rays? Oh, no. There's no proof of that. What do you mean there's no proof of it? What about the sun's effect on the oceans? Oh, no. Creating carbon emissions and carbon sinks. Oh, no. If you try to have a reasoned debate on what on the problems of the IPCC model and everything, and when Tim Ball said that hockey stick thing was, he should go to Penn. He shouldn't be teaching at Penn State. He should be at Penn. He should be not teaching at Penn State. He should go into State Penn. He got sued, and when the Canadian court demanded that that man provide his evidence, his data. He didn't have data. He falsified data. He didn't want to provide falsified data, so he lost the case. But the point is, this is a fraud. So whenever you question it, they say, no, 97% whatever say. Well, if they say that, then you know it's a fraud. Why? Because if it wasn't a fraud, they wouldn't have to say 97% say. They wouldn't have to say that. They could explain to you how it works and why it works and show you the data to back it up. No, there is no data to back it up. It's 97% say, and if you don't agree, you are outcast. You are a fringe person. You are a crackpot. You are a conspiracy theorist. You are a climate change denier. Right? There's no debate. So I was once having a discussion with some person, and I started trying to explain things to him. And then he said to me, 97%. And I said, well, yeah, but I've thought it through. I've looked into it myself. And then he said, do you trust your own judgment over the judgment of experts? And I said, well, if I can't trust my own judgment, then what am I going to do? Well, and I said, besides, if I can't understand it, and I'm not an expert enough to understand it, and if I can't have a sense of it, then what's the difference between me and a peasant in a feudal society? You know, what do I know? And what could I ever know? So I have to go along with the so-called priesthood. The priesthood says the earth is the center of the solar system and everything revolves around it. And these other people can show that that's a fraud. And if I say that it's not a fraud, that it is a fraud, I go out on the, I get burned at the stake. What's the difference between that and what we're doing here? And so that's how they're doing it. But the good thing is that Donald Trump doesn't agree. Donald Trump is a climate skeptic by their definition. He did not sign the Paris Accords. Donald Trump believes it's the biggest hoax that has ever existed. And he's president. And the other guy who just doesn't agree is another very influential person, increasingly influential person in the world. He's the Prime Minister of India. His name is Narendra Modi. And he calls this whole thing eco-imperialism. That's what he calls it. So the two of them got together last Saturday, a week ago last Saturday. They got together in a Houston stadium with 60, 70,000 people. And I believe that Modi attacked Obama. Obama was hated everywhere in the world. People could see what he was doing. He was just trying to destroy all these countries. They knew what he was trying to do. Only the media in the U.S. and in Europe love Obama. They still love Obama. They're still having a love Obama thing going on. But Africans hate Obama. Asians hated Obama. Indians hate Obama. People in the Middle East absolutely hate Obama. If you're in the poor part of the world, you don't like Obama. He told it to you that you should stay in your place, especially Africans. He said that if you guys become middle class, the planet will boil over. So this whole thing is hitting hard with the impeachment thing, and Tulsi Gabbard said, well, it's kind of odd because we're having an election in a year. Why do you need to impeach him? Just get him out, vote him out. That's an interesting question. To vote him out. Why don't you vote him out? Well, they don't want to do that. They want to they want to impeach him. They want to go after him. They want to bring him down. And William Weld, who's running a campaign in the Republican primaries against Trump, called what Trump did treason, and the penalty for treason is death. He called for the offing of Donald Trump. So that's William Weld. We know William Weld very well. He was the guy who, when he was head of the criminal division of the Justice Department, organized an assassination team to take out LaRouche. He was the guy who was the later governor of Massachusetts. This is the guy that almost succeeded in assassinating LaRouche. So here he is talking about the death penalty for Donald Trump. I wonder if there's a connection there between his view of LaRouche and his view of Donald Trump. So anyhow, so we are on the edge of a kind of a civil war. And the civil war is the intelligence community and the media and perception versus the population and reality. Okay, that's what it is. It's a civil war. A 21st century civil war in the U.S. We haven't had a civil war since Lincoln time. But this is not like that. This is different. It's the deep state, the media, the financial powers. Now, getting to the financial issue. This whole green initiative is nothing but a cover for what Mark Carney said at the UN Climate Summit. The same summit that, what's her name? Greta Thunberg was very freaked out in the way she talked. I mean, that was kind of, ooh, you have stolen my future. You know, I mean, like, whoa. You people, you older people, you care not for us little young people, you know, etc., etc., etc. But it was hysterical. I mean, it was on the edge, and Trump, of course, was very, you know, trolled her a little bit by saying she's a nice girl and you know she has a beautiful you know, but Mark Carney said it, and in the transcript, we have the transcript on our website, and this is very key. He said, we're going to make this transition to a global Green New Deal. We're going to do this not through legislation, but we're going to do it by the voluntary actions of 130 of the largest private banking institutions. We're going to cut off credit to industry. Right. And we're going to reward those who follow the Green New Deal or do whatever. Right? That's going to be devastating. So the flow of credit is going to be cut off to industry. They're going to starve industry. Now, why do they want to do that? Why do they want to collapse industry? Why do they want to do that? I'll explain. As Bruno Le Maire said, who is the finance minister of France, that unless a new system emerges in the West, the new system will be the Belt and Road. Why? Because the existing system is a set of multiply nested financial bubbles and derivatives, and the way you make money is primarily through these very sophisticated computer operations. And for instance, the Mercer family, which was behind Ted Cruz and behind Bolton and behind Steve Bannon and all these people that came into the Trump administration because they made a deal to come in with Trump. They made billions of dollars with these developing these very highly sophisticated computer models for trading. That's where you make your money. But it's a bubble. It's constantly expanding. Now, we've reached a point where you cannot make money anymore by investing it in corporate bonds or these other things. You can only make money now by investing it in the real economy. But they don't want to do that. But where is the real economy? The real economy is the Belt and Road. The real economy is the global development that's going on. So how do you keep that from being, from those investments going there, from people in all over the world, governments all over the world getting involved in the infrastructure and development, which will create real profit. So that's why they want to shift it into the green thing, to cut that off and collapse everything. And then in the physical collapse, they think they can control the physical collapse. Now, the last thing they want to do is have Trump reindustrialize the United States. The last thing they want to see coming out of this situation. So this is what the whole climate change campaign, this extinction rebellion, this climate emergency is all about. It's about creating this shift at the level of the international banking system to collapse the physical economy. That's what they want to do. But if they collapse the physical economy of the United States and Europe, and they don't collapse the physical economy of China and India, then where's that going to go? Well, they think they can trigger such a collapse in the West that it will blow back into China and India and collapse the whole world. And that's what they want to do. So that's what's behind all of this. That's where they're headed. And they got to get Trump, because if they can't get Trump out, the United States is in a position to shift the whole situation. Why? Because if Trump wants to get credit into the real economy, he's not going to be able to do it through the banking system if this is the way they go. So he's going to have to create an alternative way to create credit. Who did that? Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the Reconstruction Finance Corporation. He took something that Truman had, his predecessor, what's his name? Hoover had set up, and he turned it into this vast credit agency to rebuild the United States. It wasn't done by the private banks. I mean, they came in once that was being set up. They were used, but they didn't do it. So what's to prevent Trump at some point from doing that, which is the second law, which is LaRouche's second law, public credit, national bank, public credit, in whatever form you want to call it. What did Lincoln do when he became president and he had to pay for a war? Guess what? The bankers wanted to give him absorbent. He couldn't do it through the banking system. He created what? Greenbacks. An alternative avenue of mass credit for the Civil War, but it was also for the industrial development of the North, which took place at an amazing speed in those 4 years, just like the same in the World War II. How was that done? Public credit. You didn't go through the international banks. So if the international banks pull the plug on everybody, on the industrial base, then Trump has to use the institutions of the nation to do that. He has no choice. There is no other way. They are not giving him any other way. So they're putting him up against the wall. They're putting the United States and the population up against the wall with the Green Initiative, with the green stuff, with the financial assault on the nation that's now going to be getting underway on all nations. And this impeachment thing. It's all designed to coincide. And if they can't, they have to get him out. This is like, it has to be done. It's not a question of can they do it from their standpoint. It doesn't matter whether any one of these people thinks that they can do it. It has to be done. That's the order that's coming down. So that's why we have a civil war situation, because they're operating from the standpoint that it has to be done. And most people don't understand that that's the way that is being done. That's why every Democrat is completely gone crazy. And why they, there'll be no Democratic candidates. If Trump survives this whole process, there'll be nobody to run against him. Except maybe Bloomberg and Steyer. They'll have enough money to launch a campaign of their own. So that's where we are. So we're entering the Civil War.
Common stock investments have helped to make our country prosperous and powerful. Owning a share in American industry is like owning a share in the future of our nation. But remember, John Q, there is a risk as well as an advantage in owning any kind of property. So get the facts before you put your money to work.